Well, I just. Okay.
Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for joining me today for another little chat show with a wonderful YouTuber here. Her name is Anna. She has a YouTube channel called Vintage Jewelry Galore. And I want to introduce her to you in just a minute, but I want to ask you if you're enjoying this series, please give it a thumbs up. Please be sure and look for the playlist. Anna will go up on that playlist tomorrow. But right now, we're going to interview her, and we've got several people we've done all week. I've met so many wonderful people, and I hope that you've learned something from them and subscribe to their channels. If you are enjoying this, please be sure and give it a thumbs up. I will drop Anna's link as well at the end in the description box so that you can follow her here on YouTube. But thank you again for being here. I know we've had different hours, but I've been trying to accommodate different people's time frames and schedules. And as I said, I'm going to take a week off. I will probably still upload some pre-recorded videos for you. I have some wonderful jewelry to show you. I just found a wonderful resource. I am buying out an entire antique booth collection, slowly, of course. But that's going to be coming to you as well. So please stay tuned for that. And so next week, I won't be here, but maybe the following week, I'm going to try to reach out to more people who were trying to accommodate me as well. They have vacations, and a couple of others had other things that they had to take care of first. And hopefully we can bring you another series of shows before I get back to the grind of the classroom in August. So I hope you've enjoyed it. Again, give it a thumbs up as soon as you walk in. Watch all the videos, give them all thumbs up. Subscribe to these people that I have on here. Believe me, none of these wonderful YouTubers asked to come on. I invited all of them because I find them intriguing. I find them interesting. And I think that my audience can get something from their content. So with that, I'm going to introduce you to Anna, and her channel again is Vintage Jewelry Galore. She's going to give us a quick synopsis of her channel. All right, Anna, it's all yours.
Okay. Hi. Oh my God, that curtain back there looks really bad. So the cat ripped that up. I'm at my daughter's
Oh,
house.
no.
But anyways, my channel, Vintage Jewelry Galore, I show jewelry that I find, and I've been doing a little bit of educational videos as I learn myself. I mainly go to like local thrift stores to get my jewelry, but it's showing the jewelry that I get, and I'm lost for words. I'm so sorry. I'm a little nervous, to be honest. And then
nothing
showing the jewelry, and like I said, when I learn something new, I've been trying to make videos for that as well, with the teaching of different jewelry brands. Like I did one on Trifari and one on Monet, and like how I identify the age of a necklace. I'm fairly new, but I've picked up a lot of good points by reading and watching other people. But that's basically and I'm new. I haven't been doing this very long on YouTube. Thank you. Wow. I'm so sorry. That just bothers me. That the cat did that.
It shouldn't bother you. Don't worry about it. You could see the mess around me and the jewelry that's just vomiting all over the room. And I have a little kitty that just joined the home too. And they may have heard him traveling the upstairs and actually trampling it all, I think, during Devin's interview. So don't worry about a thing.
Okay.
We want to ask you, Anna, I think what intrigued me more about everything that you do on YouTube and what attracted me to go check you out, I saw your beautiful comments and hellos in my chats, my live chats, was your name, Vintage Jewelry Galore. So obviously that's your forte. That's what you're attracted to. Tell me how you chose that name, Vintage Jewelry Galore.
Because I do mainly like vintage jewelry. And that's initially when I started selling. It's reselling. That's mainly what I was buying and reselling. It's vintage jewelry. And you know how it is when you're picking a name out. you pick something that you like the name. That's really, I mean, the real reason I picked it is because of my interest in vintage jewelry.
Yeah, well, it's a catchy name, Crystal, and it made me want to go and check out your channel because it sounded like an educational channel, and I want you to stop being so self-deprecating. You're always saying, I don't know much. I don't,
Well,
I'm
I'm
new,
new. That's
and
why.
no, but you do. I mean, I've learned just watching a few minutes earlier today just to get a little bit of your vibe again, because I do watch your videos. But that clip started in the 50s. I think you told us about earrings, and you're very meticulous, almost systematic with
Mm-hmm.
with what you find. So stop being so self-deprecating. You do know a lot, and you just mentioned to us about the education that you want to do. So
Mm-hmm.
you do you kind of distinguish the type of video you're going to do? One day you'll do an educational video. Tell us about that.
I wanted to initially, but then no, I haven't been doing that. It's just as I go and as I learn something, I like to learn the jewelry that I have. I like to look at every piece of it, and I've tried to slow that down, like stop that a little in my videos, because then I was moving extremely slow. But to me, the clasp is extremely important on a video, the type of metal, I mean, on the jewelry, so because you can date it by looking at those things, and then maker mark, hallmarks, different things. That's what I've been studying it,
Give
so
us
I
a
can
quick
learn.
tip. Give us a quick tip of how we can date a piece by its metal content or its
Well,
DNA, so to
that
speak.
all depends. Well, rhodium plating, when I look at that, I usually on a brooch, I'm thinking like the 50s or something like that, but that's not always true. I know that. So you have to look at other parts, like how the clasp is and the pin that's on it looks. And like I said, I am new and I'm learning, but my goal is to learn that on a scholar level, and it might sound a little insane, like learning jewelry on a scholar level, but I like read up on the brands that when I collect them, that's my goal. Like I said, I did my Trifari, and then I'm going to sell it, what I don't want out of it. And the same thing with the Monet. But, yeah, there are different time points
Right.
when different clasps were created. And it doesn't always mean that that's the year that it is. And they probably still currently rhodium plate sometimes. But when you're looking at different aspects of the jewelry, you can come
Now
pretty close to a date.
it's not always marked rhodium plating. So
It never is. It just
how do
looks
you distinguish rhodium plating from silver plate, or
it looks different.
it looks different
To
to you?
me, yeah, it has like
Yeah.
a thick, like shiny type of look to it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Looks different than
And
silver
that's what
plating.
they're doing with a lot of sterling nowadays in order to preserve it from getting the patina or
Yeah, wearing
tarnish.
away.
Right? Isn't that what they do? They put a rhodium plating on it.
Well, I'm not sure about that, to be honest. But they do probably for wearing and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I would think, because it, like, well, I have a jeweler that lives really close to me. I talk to him often, and so he's saying with like gold plate, when you have a gold filled item, it'll wear away. The
Yeah.
eventually they do wear away when you're wearing them, like from the chemicals
Exactly.
on your skin.
So
But
you have a jeweler that you consult?
yeah, he's real close. I'm at my daughter's apartment now. Like I said, I had to come in and babysit like last
Mhm.
minute. But yeah, he's right down the street. I can get there in like 2 minutes walking. So yeah, so I go consult with him often. He's useful. I mean, he's
Good.
nice. He's a nice guy. He does it for free. So
That's wonderful. And that's with costume jewelry as well as fine jewelry?
no. Just if I have a stone that I think is real, because I do have a big presidium, one of those nice presidium testers. But then when I test something, I don't think you can necessarily say that's a ruby, because it could be lab created. You know what I mean? There's differences, and I don't know how to read the inclusions and everything in stones at this point. I'm
Right.
new, so I take it to him and I ask him, "Am I right
Yeah,
on this?"
that's the best policy.
And he'll tell me until I learn how to read it, which
And
that
we'll get
takes
into
time.
that in just a minute. Let me
Mhm.
ask you about your history a little bit. I know you're self-employed, you run a cleaning business, but what was in your past, your love affair with jewelry? How did you get interested in reselling
Oh,
jewelry or collecting for your own pleasure?
all right. I'll get into that. Well, initially, my goal was to be a doctor at some point in my life. I'm going to get through this quickly, but my longest staying job, I was a supervisor of a cancer center at the Hillman Cancer Center over clinical trials, research studies. Did that for 15 years, and when I lost my job, I started a cleaning company. Um, and I have the cleaning company still. If during the pandemic, though, it started to fail. So then I started selling jewelry, and that's how that came about. And is I started to, I wanted to figure out a way of making money. I'm going to be honest about it. So I started going, with what I had on hand. I went on it. I started on Mercari, and I put a couple items up there. They started to sell. So I started visiting the local thrifts, and that's when I seen, how much jewelry they had. I mean, the one I go to has a wall that has like thousands of pieces, seriously, of jewelry hanging on it. So I started looking, and it's a process to get used to what is actually something worthy of selling or not. You know what I mean? You could sell anything, but something of more money. And I'm still learning. But I didn't have any type of, like in my upbringing, like necessary love of jewelry. Now I do. It's become a real passion for me, honestly, at this point.
That's interesting.
Maybe
That's
next session.
Yeah, because a lot of people say, well, I went through my mother's jewelry box, and I know I have a story where I actually took my mother's jade cameo earrings to school when I was in 3rd grade and lost one, and I never got such a bad spanking like that day that I did that. That's just one story, but I had a love affair with jewelry for a long time.
Well, my grandmother did have a big collection, actually. She had beautiful jewelry, and I did see that, but not with my mother. Not really. But I do definitely love it now. I mean, I like a large variety of different types of jewelry, though, unique, beautiful, just like people. I mean, on YouTube, I'm all over the place. I mean,
and I can
different types of people, jewelry, food.
Yeah. I can see the science background in your videos.
Yes.
You've said before, I have to research it. I won't say it's this if I don't know. So that's another thing that I tune in for. I really like the way you don't just say, well, it's this. And, because I hear so much of that, so much people, oh, that's old pawn because it's not signed. Oh, that's this and that because, and they read it once, they heard it in an auction once, or they don't bother to do their own research. And I just love that about your channel. You can tell that you do that. Someone did ask, what is your favorite resource? Is it books? Is it a certain website you're going to? And of course, we all learn from the YouTube community as well. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying that a lot of people don't go farther than that. They don't. Yeah,
that's where the beginning has been for me with channels like, different YouTubers, like in the interest in the jewelry, like with turquoise, silver, or different things. It starts there. But I like to try to get the books that I can on the different makers, and I just got a really, really great stone and crystal book, and I'm happy about that. It explains details regarding what you'll see when you're looking at it, because I struggle with stones. I mean, I really do.
Those are tough.
I'd want to know what they are before I sell them. I'm getting to have a large collection that I will.
Do you remember the name of that book by any chance?
No. Gems and Crystals, I think it's called.
Gems and Crystals. Is it a big coffee table?
It's a little, looks like it's a little book, and it's soft cover. I mean, it looks good. I went to the half off. It was called a discount book. I forget, can't even remember the name of the bookstore. It's on McKnight Road here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, in the North Hills of Pittsburgh. I can't remember the name of the bookstore. It's just really terrible. But yeah, I've had a hard time finding a type of stone book, gem book that I wanted, but I did find one yesterday, actually.
Yeah, and I feel the more, if you can get them at a cheap price, I scour eBay and other places and make offers. And of course, I always go to Goodwill to see what they might have. Those are few and far between at Goodwill, though. They're not easy to find. But the more you have, you'll learn this from this book. You'll learn that. You'll solidify your notions about a certain thing and so forth. But yeah, that's what I love about your channel. You are very informative. You need to, kind of remind yourself that as we both watch, you're doing the video and we're watching, we're both learning, because I like your thought process too. That's another thing I like about your videos. You're not just sitting there showing us the video. And some people love, show us the jewelry and hush up, Thelma, they tell me often. But that's not me. That's not the way I do my jewelry. That's why I like watching you. That's what I loved about Adrian's channel too. Love about her channel. She'll sit there and talk about this, or I had this, and it may not be information about that particular piece, but you're very, very knowledgeable about that, honestly. So I hope you keep it up. I don't think you need to change a thing about it. I really do appreciate when you do that. Tell me what your interest is. You often mention Japan, Germany.
I don't know. Because of the war, to be honest.
Are you a history buff?
Yeah. I have a major in psychology and a minor in ancient history, actually, and I've studied like World War II and so forth. And I've had family involved. I'm just very attracted to that Japan. Those ceramic painted pieces are absolutely beautiful. I think I have a number of them now. I'm collecting them up, and they're cheap. They come cheap, at the thrift store, $2.
Yeah,
a few that are really beautiful. History, yeah, I like to attach history to my jewelry. Like if I know it's from a historical time point, it becomes more attractive to me. That and architecture. It's why I like the artisan pieces. Like, so if I see one, I kind of have to have it. People know that.
right.
I really like the artisan pieces and the modernist. And I was lucky enough to get a few pieces from you and from Dawn, actually. Yeah. If there's history attached to it, I can read and attach it to an artist or something like that. It becomes very appealing to me.
Absolutely. And it helps you date the piece too. For
Yes.
example, we know Deco used platinum because of the resources of it. They were using, they were preserving the gold for other things and things like that. So
another thing about the war is during the Second World War, which a lot of people know this. I initially, like, my very first channel I was on was Dawn's. Honestly, because my sister told me about how people were on YouTube, and this is probably I was never on YouTube until I started my channel. So when I came on here, I was kind of in the dark until people caught my attention. I was just making the videos just blankly, like showing my stuff and not interacting a whole lot because I wasn't familiar with how it was. But yeah, I had a bad video one night and I was like, not crying, but I was upset. And that's honestly when I broke out and started to communicate with other people. I had a couple of people contact me, a couple other YouTubers, and which I appreciate very much. And then what was I getting at?
The history buff, the history buff in you, how you started YouTube, just kind of on a whim. Let's just do it.
My sister had mentioned it to me, and I was already selling jewelry. I started on Mercari initially, and now I'm on eBay a little, and I've been on Posh too, Poshmark. But you have to sell better, more fashion-like things, different types of things sell on Poshmark than on eBay, I think, and on eBay you can sell anything. That's what they say. I haven't sold a whole lot on there. I'm brand new. I just started it.
So your love of history, your love.
Oh, I was saying about the war. I'm so sorry that when I first started watching it on Dawn, and she was mentioning, and I started reading up on it more and learning how they mainly during the war, most of the jewelry is going to come out as you're going to have silver and vermeil, like rose gold, things that are. Most of the jewelry that was created during that time was not just plain metal, and that's not the main reason why I'm attracted to it. But I always have in the back of my mind thinking I'm going to pick up something that's considered a cheap piece of jewelry and find some gold on it. Hasn't happened yet, but it will.
It'll happen.
Yeah,
it'll happen. I just found a fabulous set of jade, and it looked like a cheap piece of jewelry. But it turned out and they sold it as a set. It turned out the earrings were gold-plated, genuine jade, and then the ring is sterling, but it was also vermeil, and it was from a jeweler from the 40s. So I'm ecstatic with it. Yeah, I'm ecstatic with it, and moreover, I love having the real thing in my hands, like you say you do. You buy necklaces and things with the beads so that you can study them. I do that as well. I had never touched a piece of amber until maybe 3 years ago when it popped out of a Chicago jewelry jar. And I said, could this be amber? But it feels like plastic. And then everybody's like, that's what amber feels like. So how do you do that? Do you continue to source certain gems that you've never held in your hands in order to study?
I have been, and people who've watched me know I've really struggled with turquoise. I actually have a ring coming. I custom made just so I could see a couple different types of them. It should be coming soon. I found on Facebook a fourth generation silversmith. It's Hale. Her last name's Hale. I know that, but I'll have that coming. But yeah, I've been buying as many stones, like when I go to auctions, or if you don't find a whole lot in a thrift store. Sometimes you do though, like pearls.
Yeah.
I'll find amethyst, like rose quartz, things like that. But yeah, I've been buying as much as I can and collecting it so I can, study it and understand it, because there is a lot involved.
Yeah,
It's
that's the only
complicated.
way to do it. Let me say hi to some people in the chat really quick, and we'll get back to studying stones. Looks like Don popped in.
Oh my, Dawn's here. Hi.
Yeah. Kristen, how are you, Kristen? Sam Joe Sells, Lizzie Louie, Kim
my classes on
here. I Spy Queen.
Hi, guys.
How are you, sweetheart? Hope you're doing well. And like I said, I think Liz was here as well as Pandora. And,
Kristen, hi, Kristen. Dawn.
Thank you guys so much for
everybody.
Tina's here. Ishara. All our jewelry lovers are in the house. I'm so happy that you're here, guys. Yeah, so that's the best way as well. I mean, I've always thought, how can someone say, oh, that looks like that, from like you and I are in a stream and you showed me something, let's say, I wouldn't be able to honestly tell you that's turquoise. I mean, really, I couldn't. Maybe in photographs a little closer from every angle, but it really takes a hands-on. And like I said many times, like you say you want to find a piece of something valuable that looks cheap, and that does happen because those costume pieces are often made. They were made with diamonds and rubies and emeralds and pearls and jade and all of that. You're not going to find it all the time. It's a 1 in a million chance, but you will probably find it.
Yeah, I'm on the lookout for some Trifari with patent pending, and they had like jeweler numbers they would stick on it. Like whoever was pronging the stones had to put their number on it. So that's what I'm on. I'm on the lookout for some of that if I can find it. I mean, you wouldn't expect that, and it may not necessarily be in gold either. I mean, like you said, but somebody asked where I sourced my jewelry. The thrift store. I have a really great thrift store here in Pittsburgh. They're called the Red, White, and Blue. They get a huge amount of jewelry, and I've done one Goodwill jewelry bag too. I did a 5 pound, and I did like a 15 pound. And I got a little discouraged because I found so much fake silver. It just
that's going to
discouraged me. But I have one coming. I ordered from another YouTuber, and I am going to order more. It's just I have so much jewelry now. I need to sell some of it, I think, or something. I've been doing the craft locks, like you said, and then wearable jewelry and selling them. And,
but we all run into that as well. But what about the places where you go directly and you can see everything? Are you looking for jewelry that you like, or are you now thinking as a curator for your sales?
Well, that too. If I know something that somebody likes that I actually sell to, I will keep an eye out for that. Or if it looks valuable, if I know it's a semi-precious stone, I'll grab it. Well, if I think it is, because sometimes I get it and I find out it's not, because it takes practice. It's a learning experience there.
I think I heard you say recently in a video, if I like it, I'll price it high. And I do that too, because I want to hold on to it.
Because you don't want to sell it. I mean, sometimes you get people when after I do the video, I'll get an email and somebody, and sometimes I'll give it up. I mean, I will if it's, I will. My collection's not real big though, because I've only been doing this for a year and I'm just learning, so I don't have a huge collection. I won't give up my one cat shoe clips.
The shoe clips.
I love my shoe clips. They're cats. They're Art Deco, and I really love them. I don't wear them, but I just like looking at them. That's something I won't give up. And probably my tragedy comedy ring I got off you. I probably won't give him up either. He's pretty fancy. Everybody saw him in my video, but it's cool.
We'll show it again.
He's on the happy side today.
Yeah, that's what I would do.
Really, and my nails are a mess, guys. Excuse me, I haven't done them. I ain't planning on showing my hands.
Yeah.
There. He's cute. I love this ring. It's nice. But yeah, I do have some things I won't sell, but I sell mostly everything I buy for the most part. It takes time, but I do.
And like I said, to the modernist as well.
Yes.
That's for your own consumption usually?
Yes, I don't resell those. Like the choker I got off Dawn, or this ring, or my amber ring. I really love the amber on a plate. I won't sell that one.
I got a new copper, a new amber ring yesterday that I'll probably bring for auction or something, but I saw that the mark was on the outside, and someone from Poland told me that that's pretty common in Poland, or Polish amber. That's the 925 is on the band. Do you know anything about that?
No, I don't, but I've seen it. Somebody was showing something in an auction, and I did see it. I didn't learn anything about that yet.
Yeah,
I've got a lot of reading to do. I've bought a few more books. Unsigned Beauties I bought. I'm going to read that one next. Yeah, I've got a lot to learn.
Now, is Bakelite of your interest as well?
That's going to look bad. All these people are going to see that. That's all right. The cat ripped it apart. Yeah, Bakelite. I have one bracelet. I haven't sold it yet. I don't know. They do have some really cool pieces. The carved ones are really nice.
Mm-hmm.
I have a pretty nice bracelet.
Yeah, I feel like many times we kind of hesitate to say what we don't like. I don't know why. I know Vanessa told us the other day that she doesn't really care for Native American turquoise. Not everybody has to like everything. I really can't see myself buying or liking Damascene, the ones with the goddesses and all of that. I'm not attracted to that. But we all have our own things that we really, really like and buy for ourselves. So I think there's room for everything, right? Or do you do do you use Google Lens or anything like that when you find a piece that totally has you stumped?
Yeah, I do sometimes, but I don't know, Google, and I think have to try to find a better source. Than that, but I do, yeah, and it is helpful actually. Sometimes, like if you have no idea what something is, and it'll bring it up. Like mainly if it's a maker who I know who it is, though, I will do the Google Lens and then get an idea of what other people are charging for it. Honestly,
right.
Mainly what I use it for. To price.
That can be kind of vague though, because everybody charges differently, and like I've told many times in my auctions, there's no room for sharing comps, because everybody everybody has their own idea. They don't know what value is, they don't know what rarity is, and they just threw up a price. Or maybe someone does, and that one sell, or maybe they're sitting on it because they have it high and it's never going to sell. I was pricing things the other day, and I always just kind of tell my husband, look at this, it's been sitting there for 2 years, it hasn't sold. If I just, lower the price a bit, it'll sell. I did hear you say the other day that something sold really quickly for you on, I think it was Mercari, which is your favorite site right now, I think.
I sell pretty well on there, honestly. I know it's not considered a great site, and the return policy is great, but yeah, I sell.
Oh, I love Mercari. I've been on there for 5 or 6 years.
I love Mercari. Like I bought a little set of monkey cuff. I've been buying cufflinks and selling them, and people seem to like them. They sold pretty quick. Some things will sell fast. The Shriner brooch that I got out of Goodwill box. I never heard of Shriner before. It was missing one stone, and I probably should have upped the price more, but I sold it for almost $200. So really fast. I mean, it was gone within 2 minutes. Wow. There's a woman on there that apparently, because I don't know if it's the same person, but somebody buys them all within a snap of a finger. So if I ever see Shriner again, I know that it's worth money. The jeweler told me some of the gems are rare on this. So
that's Shriner, the club, right? The
SCH. That's what he told me. The guys that they used to be in the circuses and the little clown cars type thing. Yeah. SCHREINER, I think. Mine were gems. I hope they weren't gemstones. I thought they were rhinestones. If they were, I made a mistake. I needed money though, and it sold really fast.
Well, that's okay. That's okay. It's still a flip. You paid something for it. Someone else bought it. They're either going to flip it again, or I never look back. I never look back when I sell something. It happened to me as well with Another designer that someone had told me, this is Alexis Bitar. It's a high-end designer 2-3 years ago. So I threw it up for $40, sold immediately too. Then I researched it. This is where your research comes in, guys. Don't do as I say. Don't do as I do. Just do what you're supposed to do. Then everybody else was selling them for 80. So yeah, that's definitely where the research comes in, because certain items are rare. Certain items will sell at a higher price. I know my pink bag, Gina has been talking a lot about Betsy Johnson. She's a real Betsy Johnson fan.
Yeah, I saw that.
She's a purist too, and she's only after the vintage variety. And I was going to comment on her video yesterday. She's absolutely right. There should be a book on Betsy Johnson's.
Yeah, I asked her about that because I wanted to read it, because her pictures were like really, really, I've never seen anything like that. I was like, I want to read about that lady. There is something on TV about her. But Dawn said to Triner's jewelry company. The jewelry, I don't know. That's what I would expect. It is a jewelry company. That makes sense. But yeah, I know to keep an eye out for them. But yeah, Betsy Johnson, the older jewelry, like what she has, is really cool. I've never seen anything like some of the things that she has.
Yeah, exactly. And just her whole aesthetic. I don't miss anything on Betsy Johnson. Whenever there's a documentary or any kind of an article on her, I just love her. Loved her forever. Loved her dresses. I do find her dresses a lot at the thrift stores, and those go well as well.
I was in the dark there as well, because I'm going to be perfectly honest. I never heard of Betsy Johnson until I have a niece who's a manager over a makeup counter at Macy's.
Oh, really?
And that's like the first time I'd ever seen it. Is like a few years ago when I went in the store. I'm not.
Well, she's gone through the generations. I loved her, in the 80s and 90s, and then my girls loved her in the 90s, and then she went through the bankruptcy thing. Now it's just a whole, it's a cult following that she has. But what do you think is the one that you see right now? Trifari seems to be your favorites, you say?
Well, no, to be honest, no. It's just what was accessible to me. When I go and I thrift, I do take the name brands like Trifari, Monet, whatever, Avon, any of those, I will take them because they sell better. If there's a name on things, they tend to sell better. But
I know you're not just grabbing. I know you're not just grabbing any Avon.
No, I'm not.
No, what are you looking for? What makes you gravitate?
Unique items. I like unique things, as unique as I can get from where I'm buying. I look for the unique items. I'll even like in the long necklaces, like even if it doesn't have a name on it, if I find like a little magnifying glass or say like something like that, or even 1928, their jewelry is really cool. Actually, I will pick that up if I see it. But my favorite, I never really have a favorite. I've been really trying to keep an eye out for like pearls and gemstone, like the faceted type, because the lady that works at the one where I'm at seems to leave those out a little bit. She's a jewelry person herself, I think. She told me, but those do seem to seep out slowly. Every once in a while, I'll see like a something that's like amethyst or something, or pearls that she lets out without noticing. But I've been trying to shop online a little bit too, and the auctions. I go to a number of auctions on YouTube.
Yeah, and you mentioned Macari. I love Macari. Macari is where I go to if I get a James Avery that I want to sell immediately. That's where I go. I may not put the rarest of them up there, but it's a very, very good place to sell. Do you have you ventured into Etsy with your vintage at all? I know you talked about wanting to do that. Have you done that?
No, I haven't been into Etsy. I decided to try eBay first. I had an Etsy store for a short period of time, and I took it down right away. I didn't sell anything on it really, so I stopped trying to sell on there. But yeah, I saw like little other things too, like salt and pepper shakers, like little unique boxes, vases, things like that. I will sell occasionally as well. I'm not real good at pricing those, though. I sold a few $1,000 vase really cheap. And the lady told me after, I was a little upset about that. She did offer me money, but yeah, so I stay away from that. as much as I can, I don't go towards like trying to find like Murano glass and things like that, because I don't really know how to identify it at this point. Something to learn if I move that way. But my sister mainly does that.
So tell us again how to become as astute as you, and I will give you that. You came out with sheets with all of the patent marks and telling us again that the clips were from the 1930s. Where did you go to find that? I mean, I could go on Google and just get lost in a rabbit hole. How do you hone it in?
Well, I found it. The maker marks for Monet were on Pinterest, and I compared them in the book. I got the Monet book, and I read it. I read it a couple of times actually, and then I read it one time through solid. Then I took, I checked I did check the maker marks, the hallmarks to make sure they looked accurate. Then I compared my jewelry that I had on hand. I had like 30 pieces, and I checked according to, because the book's pretty informative. They give you information on the materials that were being used at that time, the styles, and then I compared what I had by looking at the hallmark, because they did change over. There's like a span where it's shady. It's somewhat, you could get confused. It could go from 1945 to 1956 or something. So I tried to take the jewelry and compare it from what the styles were at that time. But it could be off. Like I mentioned in my video, it could be a variation there. I'm not an expert. It was an attempt to for me to age the jewelry on.
Well, I think an expert keeps, like we said with Dawn, the vintage jewelry expert, that she keeps on learning. Your passion drives you.
Yeah, I've learned a lot from her. I mean, that's, like I said, it was my first channel, and then I found you through Adrian. When I had my nervous breakdown on my video that I took on, Adrian was one of the first ones that contacted me, actually, and she referred me to you, to your Facebook auction. So I started coming there, and then I got on your channel, and then Sally was another one. She came on and said,
"Thank you." But you had a nervous breakdown?
Not a nervous
breakdown.
I
miss that? I'm so sorry.
No. I had a video where I was really stressed out, and I was trying to do the Facebook auctions, like I said, and it wasn't very successful for me, and I was stressed out. I didn't have a following. That's why they didn't succeed. I mean, that's all that is. But no, I was a little upset. But
don't be, because we all start somewhere.
That's all. I mean,
no,
I'm fine.
Yeah, don't be. That's the last thing you need to worry about. When I did my first video and I left it up there because to me it's a learning experience, the first thing I said was, come at me, whatever you want to say about my room. You want to see the dust in the corner, you want to say this or that.
Yeah, hopefully nobody says anything about that.
I've done much more stressful things working with mentally challenged participants and students. So putting up a video and talking to myself is the easiest thing I will ever do. You get more comfortable with it. As you go along, you'll find people requesting that you do this and that, and then just gravitate towards those people, because those are the people that want to see you. They want to see you be you. Those gloves are fabulous. You wear those gloves just because you say your nails are not always up to par because of your business. But I think they add glamour, and I've been looking for gloves like that. I got to hit up Miss Kristen D, who sells vintage gloves. I think that was great.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, I've decided when I do like this where I'm showing the jewelry, as I learn, it's going to take time for me to like learn as much as I can about what I have on hand. And that's another thing too. I can only learn the extent of like a jewelry brand by what I have. You know what I mean? There's always going to be jewelry different levels and things that I don't have on hand that I'm not going to understand until I see it. But I decided I'm going to wear the gloves when I do those ones where I'm just showing the jewelry. And I try to manicure, but seriously, I am the company at this point. I lost 90% of my customers when the pandemic happened. I have 3 daughters, a 31-year-old, a 27-year-old, and an 11-year-old.
Right.
The 27-year-old works with me, but that's just me and her. And sometimes my hands just look rough. So the gloves, when I can't manicure them, I do put them on because I feel uncomfortable. People are like, oh, don't worry about it. It's me.
No, they look great. That's what I was like, oh my God, I got to watch this. They kind of give an air of authority as well, honestly. They really do. It's so funny how we're so self-critical, and we don't see the positive in it. When I clicked you on and I was like, she's got gloves on and she's handling all that beautiful rhinestones. I'm going to sit down with my coffee and watch this. So please, understand that don't be so self-deprecating. People appreciate what you do. They
Right.
really, really do. And I hope that you continue to expand your channel. Please be sure and subscribe to her, guys. We're going to I did link it in the chat, and I'm going to put it in the description box. And, when you do start doing your sales video, make sure you put those into playlists so that we can know that this is the one that you're selling on or whatever.
Okay.
If you want to try your hand at a live auction on your channel, I'd be glad to go on and help you, to get you started once or twice or whatever, just to you can get a feel of what it's like. But don't think you can't do it. It's I want to ask you about this as well, because I know you said you didn't even have a YouTube account. You just went on and started doing videos.
That's correct. That's why I probably seemed a little odd when I first started coming on people's channels too, because I've never really watched YouTube before. I mean, I've always been extremely busy. I've been single a lot, and I don't know why that is. Maybe I'm not able to keep a relationship, but yeah, I've always been extremely busy between working and throughout my life. Like I went back to college when I didn't graduate till I was in my 30s with my undergrad. So yeah, I've never really watched it. I mean, I enjoy it now. I have some of my favorites that I go and I watch often. But no, I've never been on there. And it was a whole new experience for me. I mean,
it's admirable to go back and get your degree at that age. I was much older and I was determined as well. So no, not at all anything wrong with that. But I did hear someone say, a very popular person here on YouTube, salesperson, say, I will not be on YouTube. And I respect her for saying it. I absolutely respect her for saying it. She said, I won't be on YouTube unless I'm making money.
Oh.
Whether that be selling or whether that be content creation. And she's gotten to the point where she is monetized. So I respect that. I came on YouTube to share my knowledge. It has become not so much my knowledge, but just my passion for thrifting and jewelry and whatnot. But it has become a resource for me. So again, are you going to start doing more educational? Do you think you're going to delineate that a little bit, or just stick with this is a sales video? And that's what a lot of people do. And I think it's wonderful as well for us to have both of those from you.
I tried sales videos a while ago. I haven't been doing those. I tell people if they want to buy some, if they're interested, they can contact me. Education, what if I have something to offer? Yeah, I'll do videos. I don't really feel like I have any set pattern. I don't know if that's a bad thing. I wanted to start off and say this day of the week I'll do this day I'll do that, but it's hard to do that, I think, with life and things. Like last night I got a call. I was going to be home. I'm at my daughter's because of the issue at the summer camp. I had to come over and help so she could go to work and help sit with my grandson. So things happen like that. But yeah, I did come on here initially because I wanted to try to expand upon selling. I'm not going to lie. Hopefully people don't look down on me for that. But I enjoy it. I enjoy other YouTubers, auctions, and so forth too a lot. And you get a lot of great things for a great price, really, that I couldn't find anywhere else.
Exactly. No, I think we have a symbiotic relationship here in the community. We learn from each other. We buy from each other. We may resell it or we may keep it or whatever, but there's nothing wrong with that. And there's nothing wrong with someone trying to make a living through YouTube, whether that be with content creation or whether that be direct sales. Either one, and I think, why can't we do both? What's wrong with that? I hate when people say, oh, I didn't come on here to make myself live.
Well, it's not like necessarily a YouTube star. I don't even anticipate that, to be quite honest. Like I said, it was a little rough for me in the beginning on YouTube because I wasn't experienced with it at all. And in my I'm almost at a year of reselling. At the end of this month, I'll be a year at reselling. So it's all very new to me. But yeah, I do like doing the videos. I keep mine very short, though. I'm never a very long video at this point.
Well, that's good. A lot. That's what a lot of experts recommend, that you keep them even under 10 minutes. So
Yeah.
there's nothing wrong with that, and there's nothing wrong with saying you don't want to be I mean, everybody. I would think everybody would want to grow just because it's a way to meet more people. It's not necessarily because you're going
Mm.
to be monetized or whatever. I think eventually, if there's something there for someone to get out of your channel, you grow. It actually happens no matter what. And then I know people who only have 500 subscribers or 200 subscribers, and they have an absolute loyal following because you're presenting something that they love. Now, we do ask that you share the videos. That helps us grow too. If you find something that you find interesting in somebody's videos, in some creator, put it on your Facebook, share it out so that other people can find it as well. That helps. But don't stop just because you've got 10 views one day. Just keep churning out those videos. They'll get better and better, and you'll get more comfortable in front of the camera. And again, back to what attracted me to your channel is that I learned something from it.
Oh, well, that's good.
I learned something from it, and I learned something from a lot of channels. I don't care if they have 100 subscribers or 10,000, and then there's some that have 150,000, and I'm no longer learning from them. And you always have to kind of hone your subscriptions down, and if there's someone that you still enjoy, well, then you're still watching them. But there's always room for growth here. There's always room. It's a big neighborhood, and I think we can all support each other that way, because not because we're just supporting each other. I could have people on here, if you don't like what they have, you're never going to go back and watch them.
Yeah.
But I really think you'll enjoy Anna's channel. And forgive me for calling you Anna. My
That's
daughter's
okay.
name is Anna with one N, and I always say Anna instead of Anna.
Yeah, that's the Spanish version of it.
Yeah,
That's fine.
yeah.
I don't mind. It's nice. Anna's nice. Nice
Thank
name.
you. So please support her channel, because it's very, very interesting. I really do enjoy it. What's next for you other than Macari? And maybe, like I said, you said you were going to be on a guest in an auction. Tell us about that.
I will. I'll be on with Misty's treasure chest, and we're gonna sell a little bit of everything like she does, because I have other things besides clothing. I don't have any clothing to sell, but I do have like boxes, vintage boxes and vases and things like that. Salt and pepper shakers, things. She sells basically everything on her. Not everything. She sells a lot of different variety on her channel. I told her it didn't have to be mainly jewelry, that I could kind of try to keep up and sell other things. But yeah, that's August the 14th. That'll be my very first time on YouTube. I mean, trying on doing an auction.
Yeah. Let me see if there's any questions before we let you go, and look through the chat here.
I can't see it.
Oh, thank you, Dragonfly. I think I saw Don Maserati. Hey, Don, how are you? Yeah, and Zombie says she likes to buy and sell through YouTube because she can see the item. Yeah, there's something wonderful about that live sale for sure. Dragonfly Bees Resale Journeys here. Crazy Card. Mike, thank you guys so much for joining me. Strong Minds.
Yep, I appreciate it. I didn't know how many people would come. I mean, because I'm small. I'm a small channel.
People are saying they like the gloves because they see the gloves with the fine jewelry as well. Absolutely.
Yeah, I've grown to like them. I saw them. I mean, you mentioned them in a video, and then I saw one lady. It was Strong Minds actually had them on one day, and I was like, I saw you at a video. You picked a pair up here with your husband shopping, and I was like, okay, Claus. And then I saw Sharon with them on, the Strong Minds Jewelry Lovers. I was like, okay, I'm going to try wearing the gloves, and I did, and I like them. I bought 3 pairs to start. I want to get some lace, like Madonna ones.
Big, long Veronica Lake ones is the one I'm looking for, Kristen. I need to go look at Kristen's collection of gloves. And I did buy those little fingerless ones as well, but mine because of my arthritis and everything. But
yeah, mine's mainly because the nails are unmanicured on the weeks I work. I can't paint them in between. It's just too much. And trying to
again, Anna, I love your little tidbits that you give us. You give us tidbits of knowledge when you show us that jewelry.
Yeah.
I love it. Keep it up.
I'll keep learning. I'm going to keep reading. And at some point, I don't know when, my goal is I've been collecting like beautiful unsigned pieces a goal
Okay.
of mine. It's not going to happen soon. Probably it's going to take time. I'm going to try to identify as many as I can by picking up the books that have that information. That's a goal. I'm going to probably maybe do Sarah Coventry and Avon if I can. I think Avon's going to be a challenge because they have so many other makers pulled in making their jewelry. But yeah, I like doing those videos. I like doing things that I have to put a lot of thought into. It's just the way
it's an outlet.
the way
That's
my
the
mind
thing
works.
too.
I have to put thought into things or I can't stay satisfied with it. It's
That's what
I get bored.
that's what I was alluding to when whether or not you have a huge amount of subscribers yet or not. It's a creative outlet. It's a creative outlet. It's just like writing a book or something. When you put something out there, this is what I know. This is what I don't know. This is what I found out. The subscribers will tell you as well what their opinion is or what they think.
And I always ask for it because I know there's a lot of people out there that have a lot of more experience than me. I'm like, if I'm wrong on this, please let me know. Because it's trial and error, really, when you're first learning, unless you're an expert and you've been doing this for 30 years or something, it's brand new for me. And I am learning, but I can make errors. Anybody can, that's anywhere in life. Even when I worked in a cancer center, I'd see doctors making errors. These are people making $550,000 a year. And yet they make a mistake and you have to tell them. I mean, so, I don't mind that. I actually like it when somebody tells me. If they're not mean. I've never really had anybody mean, per se.
No, there's a way.
People can be nasty, but I've never had that experience. Yeah. I'm letting people know. You're right. Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm talking to you.
No, that's okay. It's just sometimes there's a delay.
So this wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. I was a little nervous.
Don't be nervous. Don't be nervous. I also just want to mention what you said about the presidium that everyone has and that can be very finicky and that we really have to be very cautious of using because it does not tell you, like you said, whether it's man-made, and it seems like it has a really big category of choices. Everything seems to be an iolite nowadays. I've never seen so many spinels in my life. So you really have to be careful when you use it, and you can't rely on that. That's just a second source. Honestly, it's just like the magnet test.
It's going by heating, isn't it? So
exactly the thermal.
So it depends on the temperature of the room you're in.
Exactly, but again, it's like anything else. Can you imagine if our doctors only relied on one book, or you go everywhere for sources. You learn about the gems. You learn about what a real ruby looks like under a loupe.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's what I'm trying to learn now, and it's complicated. Like they have different aspects to them that are it's a lot. I mean, it's years and years of learning. I think I just want to be able to identify if it is or it isn't, and it does tell you that. I think like if it goes up over glass, you kind of have an idea that you have something there. And if you have an eye and the stone, then you can identify somebody that's experienced.
Exactly, and recalibrate constantly.
And
again, I like that you're using a jeweler as well. It's always nice to have that resource and someone that can help you. Like that.
He's right up the street. It's like right next door. It's just crazy. I live in an apartment, and I'm surrounded by businesses where I'm living. That's not good. I am moving into a slightly bigger space. That's great. I'll have a jewelry room where I'm at, which will in a large desk. Right now, I'm working off something that's like, it's like 24 inches maybe this way, and I'll drop things. No, I'm pretty careful not to drop things. I set myself up, and I will be able to have a larger space and a bigger desk, and have my items out. Now everything's in a basket. It's so hard when you're going to sell something and looking. I lost my first item, which I don't have as much as a lot of the women are. I can imagine it. It's difficult. I lost a precious moment necklace. My cat took it. Found it. The lady still bought it 2 weeks later. I emailed her. It's like, I found it.
It's so important. It's so important to have your own space, your own little designated area for your storage. I used to have things in my garage where I would ship over there. I finally brought everything inside. Everything was within me. This is my business, and you have to just take it seriously if you want to grow it and give it the respect that it needs, because otherwise you're going to be scrambling for things. But again, let me just, do you have any closing thoughts for us?
No, I would like to be full-time, and I will be full-time eventually. A
Wonderful.
reseller. It's just a matter if I have to work to support my daughter. So that's why I still do the cleaning company, or I wouldn't if I didn't
Yeah.
have to. But yeah, I'd like to do it full-time. But no, that's all. I really appreciate you picking me, and I was shocked. So I
No, not
was,
at all.
because
Like
I'm
I,
so new. I mean, I'm new here, and I
well,
was surprised, but I
it
appreciate it.
doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you're new. Like I said, there was something really, um, first impressions. First impressions are powerful. It was not just the gloves and the background with the rhinestones, but it was your knowledge and your tidbits. You were giving us nuggets, and I like that. I appreciate that. I'm not saying that no, all the other channels don't do that. I would wish I had time to watch all the other channels, but when I do, and I find someone that's impressed me that way, I would love to have them just to chit chat a little bit, pick their brain a little bit, and that's what we did today. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Give it a thumbs up. More than ever, please go subscribe to Anna's channel. It's a wonderful channel, and I hope she continues to grace us with more educational videos, and definitely the opportunity to buy those items, because you've picked up some wonderful, wonderful items.
I got to get them online, and I
Yes,
will.
and she
I
does
will.
have the stores linked to her channel too.
Mhm.
So we're going to go check out her Mercari store and all of that as well. Thank you so much, Miss Anna. I appreciate your time. Thank you all who watched. I really,
Thank you,
really do
everyone who
appreciate it.
came. I appreciate it,
Hey,
Dawn.
Gina.
Gina, hi, Gina. Dawn, hi, everybody.
All
Yeah,
right, guys.
Corey.
I will see you in 2 weeks. I
Yes.
hope to take the hiatus, but you'll see some recorded videos from me, and go check out our playlist and all of the wonderful people that we met through this series. Bye, everyone.
All right, goodbye. Thank you, Dawn. Bye.